Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, my crypto teacher. My name is Ida and I am your crypto teacher. Okay guys, this I think is a fake rally. Don't buy, not financial advice. This is a fake rally. I'm going to walk you through very carefully why I think it's a fake rally. Now, I need you all to listen to the entire video because I'm really going to give you very important information. As an investor, even though I'm not a financial advisor, as an investor, there is key information that you need to know and understand as you do your research and make your decisions about your investment. Now, in this video, I'm going to explain to you 4 very important terms why I think this is a fake rally and why I'm saying don't buy. What it means to be long an investment, what it means to be short an investment, what is a short squeeze, and what is a margin call. I'm going to explain those 4 terms in this video, and I'm going to show you how they relate to what's going on right now. So, I'm your crypto teacher. If you haven't already, I think I need 3 subscribers to get to 1,000. So please be the 1,000 subscriber now. But don't stop there, because my next goal is going to be 10,000 subscribers. This is great information. So if you haven't already, go ahead and click on subscribe. Also share. And I hope you are the 1,000 subscriber. If you are, we'll meet sometime in the future, and I don't know, so whatever, you're getting good information. Anyway, please click on subscribe and help me get over the 1,000 benchmark. Now, the first thing I'm going to do, like I said, fake rally, don't buy, and I put the question mark. I am going to go to Coingecko. That's the first thing I'm doing. I'm going to Coingecko. You all know how I like Coingecko. And we're going to take a look at the market. So the market is back over, the market cap is over 1 trillion. You know, we've been at that 700 to 800 billion mark for months. We're back over $1 trillion and people are feeling good. Now, we're still in a bear market. We're still in a bear market. And remember, nothing goes down straight, nothing goes up straight. I'm going to talk to you all about market manipulation and some key factors that I think are having an impact on the market going up. Now, Bitcoin, the Bitcoin dominance is almost 40%. That's as high as it's been in a very long time. So Bitcoin has taken off. It's like in the last 7 days, Bitcoin is up almost 24%. That is a lot. And I know a lot of people get really excited about that. But I like to caution you and let you know we are still in a bear market. I did a video on how to survive crypto winter, and I'll link that in the description. Nothing goes straight up. Nothing goes straight down. I'm going to share with you what I think is having an impact on this market explosion, because this is an explosion. I mean, like Cardano was up 26-27%. Most projects are up a lot. Most projects are up. Avalanche is up like 45%. And the reason you've got to understand this information is because you don't get trapped. A lot of investors feel they get depressed because they chase the market. Remember, do not chase the market. You will always have, almost every time, you will always have an opportunity to get back into the market. Do not chase the market. If you chase the market, I chased Solana and lost tens of thousands of dollars because my entry point was poor. I FOMO'd in. That means it was the fear of missing out. And guess what? I did miss out. I missed out on the gains on Solana. So anyway, so here we go. So the market is up. It is up, up, up. But let's take a look at why I think this is a fake rally. First, let's take a look at some macroeconomic factors. Just follow me, because as an investor, you've got to understand these things, okay? Right now in the United States, and look, God bless America. Lord knows I love my country. But we have $31 trillion of debt. Let that sink in. We've got $31 trillion of debt. And interest rates by Jerome Powell is continuing to be raised. And in this $31 trillion of debt, just so you all know, we owe everybody. Japan is our biggest creditor. Here's a little article that shows you Japan, we owe Japan the most money, and then China, we owe UK, England, Luxembourg, Cayman Islands, Switzerland, Belgium, Ireland, Taiwan, and Brazil. We owe everybody. So this gives you an idea of why our government has to cooperate and talk to other countries. We owe them money, and we owe them a lot of it. We owe China a lot of money. We owe Japan. Japan owns about 5% of our debt. China owns about 4% of our debt, okay? So just keep that in mind. And this is a lot of debt. So right now, we already know that the bear market is not going to be over because this debt has to be dealt with. We have $31 trillion of debt. This is utterly ridiculous. The United States government is going to have to cut spending, not increase taxes, because people who pay taxes are typically people like me. Rich people can afford accountants and attorneys to see how to avoid taxes. Everyday middle class people like us, we are the ones paying this tax bill, and I need them to really look at the IRS and see how not to tax my income. I don't think I should be taxed on income. I think income tax, a tax on income, is illegal, but that's another video. All right, so you can see we're in debt, and somebody has to pay this debt. Debt per citizen, look at this. For every citizen in the United States, it's about 360 million. We owe $94,205. Debt per taxpayer, $246,867. Our country is in debt, okay? So, and we see who owes it. Now, let's go on and let me talk about inflation. Let me move on to the inflation piece. This is why I think this is a fake rally. So the CPI, the inflation number came out, and the government wants inflation to decline. And doing a video on inflation, that's a whole nother video, but you've got to understand how inflation can wreck an economy. So the government has to get inflation down. It has to get inflation down. If you don't believe me, look at Venezuela and a whole lot of other countries. Your money will become worthless if inflation stays up. So inflation did drop to 6.5%. That was a better number, but that's not good news because it's still high. 6.5% means that inflation is going in the right direction. So Jerome Powell, who is the Federal Reserve manager, he says he's not going to change increasing interest rates until he gets to his 2% goal. You all can do the math. We're at about 6.5. Jerome Powell, who is the Fed Reserve chairman and in charge of increasing interest rates in an effort to decrease inflation, his goal is 2%. So here's the deal. As long as the Federal Reserve continues to increase interest rates, the markets are not going to recover. They are not, because it's going to make the cost of money more expensive. And that burden is going to be carried over to us, the everyday people. Now, the Federal Reserve, another reason I think this is a fake rally, they have a meeting on January 31st, and they'll announce the rate hike on February 1st. A lot of people think that the rate hike is going to be 0.25% of a percentage point. I think it may well be 0.5. Jerome Powell is saying he is not going to let up on increasing interest rates until he gets to his 2% goal. We're only at 6.5. So I think that the market rally is a preliminary celebration that probably shouldn't happen, because it's going to come back around and have an impact. Because here's what happens. When people run out of money, they sell their assets because they need them to pay their expenses and whatever else. Crypto is going to be, there is going to be a sell-off, okay? So the next the next Fed Reserve meeting is coming up January 31st to February 1st. And here is their calendar for all of 2023, just so you know. As you get closer to these dates, most times you're going to see the market either decline or sometimes rally. It's good to know these dates. So as you plan your investments, you can plan your investments around these dates. And plus, you know what's going on, because when information is coming out from the Federal Reserve, it's going to have an impact on the markets. And you may just want to wait. Like what I do typically, I wait to buy my investments around the time the Federal Reserve meeting is coming, because most time the market goes down and I get my investments at a cheaper cost. And that's what we want to do. Remember, we want to buy low, sell high. If you haven't been buying all this time, why are you now jumping into the market? Do not FOMO. Do not do a fear of missing out. You stay the course. Stay the course. Okay, so there is the FOMC. There's your calendar for the year of 2023. Now, let's dig down into where I think the manipulation occurs. So you all know we've been through, remember Terra Luna, Three Arrows Capital, BlockFi, Celsius, Voyager. What we found out when all of those companies collapsed, that they were all depending on each other. They were all intermingling with each other, loaning each other money, using each other's money on the different exchanges. And so was FTX, right? So there's a company called Digital Currency Group. I'm just going to keep it basic. This is going to be the next leg down. That's why I'm telling you I think it's a fake rally. I think that the market is going to go down even further than it has. So Digital Currency Group is a venture capital company, and they basically focus on the digital currency market. Look at what they own. They own CoinDesk. CoinDesk is a media company for crypto. So you can get a lot of different information about crypto on CoinDesk. Like think of it as the New York Times or the Washington Post or the Wall Street Journal. CoinDesk is a media company that Digital Currency Group owns. They also own two other companies that are very important. This is why I think we're going to take another leg down. They own a company called Genesis, and they also own Grayscale Investments. Now, the company that they own, Genesis, you all have heard me talk about the Winklevoss twins. Those are the twins who own the Gemini Exchange. Gemini Exchange is a centralized exchange where you can purchase crypto. They have a project on there. What you can do, you can take your crypto and earn interest. So what Gemini Exchange did, they were taking the crypto that belonged to us, and they were giving it to Genesis, and Genesis was investing that money and earning interest, and then they would pay us back our interest on Gemini Exchange. Well, Genesis, long story short, is in trouble. Genesis owes Gemini Exchange almost $1 billion. And one of the Winklevoss twins have been going back and forth on Twitter about the CEO of Genesis and wants him to step down, and he's not. But they have halted withdrawals on Gemini because they don't have the money, because Genesis is holding their money hostage, which is crazy. So we already know, we've seen this story play out again and again. We saw it with Voyager, saw it with Celsius, right? These companies, when they're in trouble, you begin to see stuff like this, and then voila, you wake up one day, they're going to file bankruptcy. So Genesis owes Gemini $1 billion. That means they're putting Gemini in a very bad position, and that's just what it is. Also, what I'm thinking is, my theory, this Digital Currency Group, they own Grayscale Investments. Now, Grayscale Investments, they own a lot of Bitcoin. Look at this. Grayscale Investment, they own 643,572 Bitcoin. They own about $13 billion in Bitcoin, which means they own about 10%, a little bit more than 10% of all the Bitcoin in existence. Now, think about it. If they need money, if Digital Currency Group, if they need money and they have to sell off some of their assets so they can pay their bills, they're going to sell some Bitcoin. That's just what it is and how it is. And here's my theory. I think because of these market makers and market manipulators, I think they have artificially driven the price of Bitcoin up because I think they're going to turn around and sell some. They're going to sell some Bitcoin so that they can pay off some of their bills. I think it's an artificial pump, and I'll show you another reason where I think that pump is coming from as well. But I don't think it's an authentic pump. I don't think it's a legitimate pump. I think it's some insiders. They all know each other. They all know how to manipulate this market. They're going to drive that price up. You're going to get in and buy Bitcoin again at the high. And then when it goes down, you're going to feel bad, right? So Grayscale, they own a lot. They own a lot. So that is the deal. Now, let me tell you the other reason. Let me talk to you about liquidators, and then let's go a little bit into a little lesson here. So first, when you are long a stock, a crypto, or an asset, when you are long, that means you believe the price of that asset is going to go up. You think the price of the asset is going to increase in value. You think it's going to go up. That's the same across all asset classes. It doesn't matter. When you're long an asset, that means that you are buying it at a price that you think is the bottom and you think it's going to go up. Now, when you are short an asset, that means you plan to become profitable if that asset drops in price or if it goes down. So just think about that. You're probably thinking, how can you short an asset? So here's what you do. Let's say, for example, Bitcoin is going for $20,000, right? You sell Bitcoin. You don't own any of it yet. This is a transaction that's done through your brokerage. You sell Bitcoin for $20,000 in hopes that it's going to drop to $15,000, $16,000, $17,000. So if you sell or you short Bitcoin at $20,000 and it drops to $18,000, what you would do then, because you're short that asset, you buy Bitcoin at $18,000. Remember, you already sold it for $20,000. The difference is $2,000. Who keeps the $2,000? You do. So when you short an asset, you make money by getting the difference in what you sold it for and what you buy it for. So another example, let's say you bought Bitcoin, if you sold Bitcoin at 10,000. You sold Bitcoin at 10,000 and Bitcoin drops to 7,000. You're going to buy it back at 7,000. And then you're going to keep the $3,000 difference. And you can do that with stock, with crypto. You can do it with any, with most assets. And that's how people, and you'll hear people talk a lot about shorting the market. People short the market and get short positions when they think an asset is going to go down or decline. So a lot of people have been shorting Bitcoin. A lot of people have been shorting Bitcoin. All right, so let me show you this. So this is a website that shows liquidations and how many people are short crypto. Now, I just pulled up, they have it for lots of different cryptos here. You can look at the top. You can see, I have Bitcoin. You can do Bitcoin, ETH, Solana. You can see all the different cryptos up here. I'm just going to look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, I just want you all to see how this is an artificial pump. So you all can see right down here, this is January. These red bars show how many people are short Bitcoin. And as you can see, you don't even have to look at the numbers. Look at all of this red. Is more people who are short that are long. So what happens is, the next thing I'm going to explain to you all is a short squeeze. And this is why Bitcoin took off and went up. All these people speculated, these investors, they speculated that Bitcoin was going to continue to decline. But think about it. Somebody, I believe, and it could be, I don't know who it is, they drove the price of Bitcoin up higher. So if these people are short Bitcoin, remember I told you they already sold Bitcoin. They sold it at a price of 20,000. So they sold it and they need for Bitcoin to continue to go down. Well, what if the opposite happens? They lose money. They lose money. So if they sold Bitcoin at $16,000 and Bitcoin goes up to 17,000. Remember, they sold it for 16,000. Now they've got to buy it for 17,000. They're at a loss. They're losing money. So they get scared. So these people who are short Bitcoin, when Bitcoin began to go up, they started buying it because they had to cover their positions. Because once the direction of Bitcoin changed, when Bitcoin start going up, these investors who were short, and there's a lot of them, were losing large amounts of money. So they had to cover their positions because a lot of them are going to get, my next thing I'm going to tell you all is a margin call. A margin call is like when your investment banker calls you and says, Ida, you owe us money. Your account is negative $20,000 or $40,000. You either have to deposit money or deposit securities to cover your positions. So a margin call is like a call from a debt collector because you borrow assets on credit, which you can do. And typically people do this a lot when they short assets, which is, I think, the craziest thing ever. There's no way I would short an asset. I would not. I might buy a put, but I wouldn't short an asset. It's a lot less expensive. So this is why I think somebody artificially bumped the price of Bitcoin and then the short squeeze occurred. So once all these people who were short Bitcoin, they now all have to buy Bitcoin to cover their positions, right? Because they're probably getting margin calls. Now, what supply and demand? All these people are now buying Bitcoin. So what is the price of Bitcoin going to do? It's going to go up, 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 and up. Not because people want it or the situation in the world has changed. People are covering their positions. And so it's an artificial rally. It's a rally of necessity. People have to, those short people, and you can see a lot of people were short Bitcoin, they have to buy Bitcoin to cover their positions, their short positions, okay? Because they're losing a lot of money. All right, now, I know that was a lot of information. If you haven't already, go ahead and click on subscribe and click on like. So basically, here's my theory. People, basically, somebody, I don't know if it's Digital Currency Group, somebody, I believe, artificially bumped up Bitcoin. They bumped up Bitcoin. And then, once Bitcoin began to rise in price, all of these shorts had to cover their positions by buying Bitcoin. And that caused Bitcoin to go up exponentially. That's why we've got a 25% increase in just 7 days. Now, what's going to happen when all that short covering stops? Because once they've covered their shorts, that's it. They've stopped, right? I think we will continue to see the decline. Bitcoin will go back in the market, the entire market, not just Bitcoin. It will go ahead and begin to decline again. And what's going to happen? All people who jump in and buy Bitcoin at 20, 21,000, when it declines, and I think it's going to go back down to, I think it'll go down to at least 12 or 13,000. I think sometime this year in 2023, if you bought Bitcoin at 18, 19, 20,000 and Bitcoin drops to 12, 13, 14,000, you're going to, feel a knot in your stomach. So that's why I'm saying I do believe it is a fake rally. So another thing, let me just wrap it up this way too. I'm going to put on this dead clock so you can just see this is crazy. There are other things going on in the world. The Russia and Ukraine war, it has not stopped. They're just entering into winter time. It's going to get a lot uglier. China has opened up its borders. Now China is allowing the citizens to go out and not have all these COVID tests and all this crazy stuff. They have a lot of pent up money. They'll be spending a whole bunch of money. And I also think, look, China, they may invade Taiwan. And then we have all kinds of issues in the United States. We have a United States Congress. Our Congress is House of Representatives are Republicans, and they are vowing to decrease our national debt. And then we have our Senate, who is made up of Democrats. And so we've got to see if they're going to be able to work together to move our country forward. I hope they do. I pray to God that they get rid of the IRS. I know. I mean, in terms of the income tax, I just believe that everybody, you know, I just shouldn't have to pay taxes on my income, and I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't mind paying taxes. I just don't think that taxes should be dependent upon the money that I earn. I just think you can, I don't mind paying taxes, but it shouldn't be based on my earnings. All right, so that's for a whole nother story, but that is why I think it is a fake rally. Now, if you haven't, go ahead and be my 1,000 subscriber. I hope I have 1,000 by the time I post this video, but I know this is a lot of information. But as an investor, I believe this is the year 2023 is the year of planting seeds. You're going to reap what you sow, so you've got to plant the seeds. Now is the time, I do believe, to buy. I am buying. Now, I'm not going all in, but I am buying now. I'm beginning to buy a little bit more crypto and some stocks as well. I believe in diversification. So now is the time to buy. It is the time to buy. You buy low and you sell high, but you don't go all in. Don't think this is it. Get tiny amounts and buy strategically. I'm not buying anything until around January, the end of January. I'm going to wait until we get closer to the Federal Reserve meeting, because I know the market is going to decline, it's going to go down, and I want to get the biggest bang for my buck. All right, so that's it. That's all I have today. My name is Ida. I am your crypto teacher. I hope that you learned a lot from this video. I hope you understand now what it means to go long in a market, what it means to go short, what's a short squeeze, and what's a margin call. So until next time, thanks. And don't forget to click on subscribe. I need 10,000 subscribers. Thanks. I'm out.